Hello beautiful enjoyed people and welcome back to another Minecraft video. So today I have something a bit different but I still think it is pretty cool. And so yeah, we have a working portal gun inside of vanilla Minecraft. So yeah, no mods, no add-ons, just good old command blocks. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of this thing. So let's get started. Okay, so just before we get started, I just want to say if you want to go and try this thing out for yourself, there will be a world download link in the descriptions. Yeah, you can go ahead and download it from there. So, yeah, if you don't know what portals are, basically we go into the orange one and we come out of the blue one, and we go into the blue one and we come out of the orange one. Now, I based this off of a game from like the early 2000s, or yeah, called Portal. I know it's amazing, right? It's called Portal, and you have Portal. Who would have thought? But yeah, it's a pretty cool game, and this is pretty much the core mechanic of it: placing portals and using that to overcome challenges. Now, I saw someone on Reddit do this, and I thought, hey, that might be a cool thing to try and do myself, and so here we are. Now, the thing that makes these two portals cool is that they are not stationary. I can move these portals to anywhere that I want. Now, when we go into the blue one, we will still come out of the orange one and the same way around, no matter where I actually place these portals. And a little side feature that I also implemented is the fact that it will automatically rotate you, so that let's say I go in facing that direction, I will automatically rotate so that I will always be facing away from the actual portal, so you don't have to bother like turning around manually or whatever. So yeah, as you can see, the command block setup is actually quite small and not as complicated as one would thought. Now, basically, the portal gun itself is just a bow that I retextured. If you look at the bottom there, you can see it says bow. So I just popped into a quick photo editor and made this cool portal gun texture. And then on either side of the bow, I have some concrete just to indicate which portal is currently active. Okay, so as you can see, when we're in orange mode, the top one gets activated, and when we switch to the blue mode, the bottom redstone line gets activated. So basically, top is orange, bottom is blue. Now we can divide the command blocks into two main parts. This one over here is responsible for actually moving the player from portal to portal, and this one and at the right is responsible for the portal placement. So yeah, let's take a look at the portal placement first. So as I said, when when we use Q on the keyboard or when you drop the item, it will basically switch between the two modes. And the way that I did this is by this little string of command blocks over here. So as you can see, we test for an item called a bow. Now yeah, this is just a retextured bow, and you can see it still says bow there. So basically it will test for an entity called bow. And so basically what this command block does is it will constantly just go through and search for an entity laying on the ground. And once it detects that entity, it will return true, which will activate the rest of the chain. So as you can see, there is currently no bow laying on the ground, so no target match selector. Now, when this returns true, it will activate this one over here. And basically what we do is we save a scoreboard value. Now, I just have a scoreboard called mode, and for the blue one, the mode value is 1, and for the orange, we turn the mode to 0. And this is just an easy way for us to switch between the two modes. So before we continue on this chain, let's pop over to this repeating command block over here. So as you can see, it will scoreboard player test mode. So basically it will search if the mode is between 0 and 0, it will power this bottom one, and if mode is between 1 and 1, it will power this top one. So currently mode is 0 because we are on blue, and that's why this one is, as you can see, score 0 is not in range 1 to 1. So that's why it returns false and the top part gets deactivated. Now moving on to the third command block over here, we just kill as soon as we drop the bow. Basically what we do is we detect that, we set the scoreboard value, and then we kill the entity called bow. And that is just so that you don't end up with a bunch of bows laying on the ground. And what that also allows us to do is to have a nice quick switch between the two modes, because as you can see, you don't need to wait to pick up the bow again. And that is thanks to the next command, which is replace item entity slot hotbar number 5. Oh no, wait, this one. Yeah, replace entity slot bar 4 with a bow. So basically, when that one gets triggered, it's basically like the give command, except we choose where the item needs to go. So it will just, as soon as you throw the item, it kills the bow, and it replaces this slot over here with a new bow. And that's pretty much what happens here too. As you can see, we replace hotbar slot number 5 with an orange concrete, and we replace hotbar number 3 with a blue concrete. And that's how we get that cool little indicator at the bottom. Now, like I said, that pretty much happens at the top also. Okay, so basically, since this is a bow, we will shoot an arrow when we fire it. And basically, what this command block does is it will execute add type arrow, and test for a block in the direction, and test for a quartz block in the direction that the arrow is facing. So basically, these little triangle thingies, they mean the block location that the entity is facing towards instead of the location. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not entirely sure, but let's say, okay, what they basically mean is when let's say I face this direction, it will use this check in front of me as opposed to where I currently am. So that's what they do. Now, once it does detect a quartz block, it will activate this comparator, which will trigger this command block and this command block. Now, the bottom command set of commands gets triggered later after a 1 tick delay, but let's do them first before I explain what these two does, just because you kind of need to know what this one does to know what these two will do. So basically what we will do is we will check the location of that arrow and summon an armor stand called orange in front of that arrow. And basically, once that happens, we will just activate the rest of this command blockchain. But before we get, and basically this next one will get rid of the arrow, and after that, we just make the armor stand invisible and hide the particles. That's why there's true behind it. And then what we will do is we will have a full command that will fill in orange glass panes at the location of the arrows. As you can see, execute at entity name orange. So this is our armor stand called orange. And then it's just a simple fill command that will fill in the glass panes over there. And at the end, we will set a scoreboard player direction direction 1 to 0. Now we'll get to what the scoreboard does a bit later on. But basically what these two commands will do is that they are responsible for when we move a portal. So let's say um, I place a portal over there, and now I shoot a new portal over there. What these two will do is they will have just a full command that will fill the location of the old portal with quartz blocks so that you don't end up with a bunch of fake portals. So as you can see, they're pretty much just responsible for getting rid of the old portal placement, and as you can see, kill at entity called orange, so it will also kill the previous armor stand. That's why this bottom one has a delay of 1 tick, just so that we can fill and get rid of the armor stand before placing a new armor stand. Now, the command chain next to it, this one does pretty much the exact same thing, except for a different location. So when we're working on basically two axes, the Z and the X axis. So we have So that's where these scoreboard values will come in. As you can see, direction 1 and is has a value of 0, and here we set direction one's value to 1. So basically we have two axes, as you probably know. We have one facing this direction, and then we have another axis facing this direction. Now, the reason we want to know on what axis it lays is just to know where to place the actual portal, as well as figuring out. We also use that to figure out the rotation. So if you're not entirely sure what I meant by that, you'll see over here the one on the right tests for the or summons the armor stand where we are looking but on -1, and over here we do it at 1, and that is basically what determines at which location it is. And so now we can move on to the actual teleporting part. Now, pretty much these first few command blocks does the exact same thing, or all of them do the exact same thing. And basically what we do is we check if we go to execute the name orange, so we're at the location of the armor stand, and then we check if an entity that is type player is within a 1 block radius of the player. Now, a 1 block radius means I'm pretty much at the exact location of the armor stand. So basically, all of them have that exact same command, but just for blue and then again for orange. And this next command block chain, it will just test for which value our direction scoreboard is. So remember this value that we saved here, direction 1, and the bottom one is called direction 2. So we will check if it is scored as if it has a value of 0, it will activate this chain. If it has a value of 1, it will activate the next one, and so on and so on until we have all 4 of those. Now, if we get a result that says, okay, where direction 2 has a value of 0, it will activate this comparator, which will trigger this command block and this command block. Now, the bottom one is pretty simple. We go to this first one is for the orange one. So if we go into the orange portal, we need to teleport to the blue portal, obviously. So what we will do is we will see if there is a, what do you call it? If there is a block behind the blue portal. So we are going into the orange one, we are going to come out of the blue one. So the blue one, we test if there is a block behind it, and if there is a block behind it, we will teleport the player to that portal but facing the opposite direction. And when and the top one, what that does is we check if there's a block in front of the arm of the portal. If there is, we face the opposite direction, and that is how we get the rotation. So that happens 4 times so that we have all of the directions. Now, sadly, this thing cannot make portals facing into the roof and to the floor just because I didn't know how to do it. So obviously we summon a bunch of invisible armor stands. Now on Bedrock there isn't NBT tags, so I can't get rid of gravity. And so basically when I shoot into the roof, the armor stand will just fall down to the bottom and everything will break. Now someone on Reddit pointed out that hey, maybe you should constantly teleport the armor stand to its location. And yeah, that might just work. So I might upgrade this little thing a bit later on, but at the moment I'm pretty happy about how it works. So yeah, let's for all time's sake, let's play some portals and travel through them. So yeah, there we go. And that is pretty much it. So like I said, you can download the map in the description if you want to. It comes with the resource pack for the bow and everything, so you can try it out for yourself. And yeah, feel free to leave a like and to subscribe if you're new around here. But thanks for watching guys, and I will see all of you again in the future with a brand new video. Bye! Oh wait, we can wave now. That's how do you wave? Okay, no, no, I don't like that. Just this is better. Bye!